Hello everyone. So today we will look at the concept of telling the times in German, right? How you can tell information related to time, that something is starting at this time point, something is happening at this time, and what are the different ways and different prepositions you can use in German to tell the time, right? So we have different kind of prepositions which you can use. For example, um, phone, bis, im, phone, up, and in, right? And then they tell you about like a time point, like from some certain time, it could be a month, day, date, or something like this, from which something is starting, some activity is happening. And you can use these time prepositions to convey more information when you speak in German. So, for example, the first one we have So, is used when you're talking about specific days or part of the days, right? So, if you want to talk about, okay, on this day something will happen, or at this part of the day, then you can use For example, ich arbeite am Montag. I will work on Monday, right? And then you can also say am Wochenende habe ich frei. On weekend I am free, right? And also, like I said, you can also do the part of the day. So am Nachmittag, afternoon, gehe ich einkaufen, I go for shopping. So you can use to specify a part of the days, or like some special day, and then you can tell more information what are you doing on that day, right? So for example, am Nachmittag gehe ich einkaufen. On afternoon, in afternoon I'm going to do shopping, right? So in the same way, you can also use which is another time preposition, and that there you can tell about exact time, right? Exact time you are doing something. So that is genaue Uhrzeit, exact time point, right? So on the clock, if you when you tell a time, so at that for that you can use For example, ich stehe 7 Uhr auf. I wake up at 7 a.m., right? So I am using here to tell this time point. Next example, wir treffen uns 18 Uhr, right? So when you have a time like this, then you can use right? We will meet at 6 p.m. in the evening, or 18 Uhr, right? Der Zug fährt Viertel from Zinua. We are meeting 15 minutes before 3, right? So you can use here also. So in all these examples, you have a time point on the clock, exact time point, and before that you can use right? And if you have a day kind of thing, then you will use right? So if you have a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like that, Montag, Freitag, am Wochenende, am Nachmittag, so you can use right? So let's look at the another preposition. If you have suppose a time range, or a like a duration range, how what you will use? You will use von and bis, right? So it in English it translates to from and to, right? Or till, right? To this point, or you can say from this till this point, right? So for example, here we will have a starting point and an ending point of the time and duration, and then you can tell, okay, in this duration something is happening. So we'll say, for example, ich arbeite von 8 Uhr bis 16 Uhr. I work from 8 o'clock till 4 p.m., right? And now you can see here, we can use phone and bis. Earlier it was only because it was just exact time, right? Here it's a range of time from 8 till 16, so you can use phone and bis, right? So next example, ich bin von Montag bis Freitag im Büro, right? So I am from Monday till Friday in office, right? So we use von and bis. But here we have Monday and Friday, Montag, Freitag, and this is a time, like a specific day, right? So here you can also use von and bis. Instead, earlier we were saying but if it was only Montag, right? But here I'm telling about a range, so we can use phone and bis. Doesn't matter if it is a part of the day or like a specific day or time. If it is a range, a duration, you can use phone and bis. Next example, wir sind von Juni bis August in Italian. We are in Italy from June to August, right? So here it is also a range, and here you can also use month and everything. So when you have a duration, then you can use von and bis, right? Now let's look at another preposition. It's called im. So you can here use this preposition when you're talking about months or like longer periods of time, like some year or something, right? Or like or something which lasts over a year or within a year, but it's a longer period of time, right? So you talk about long time periods, then you use im. For example, in December is Weihnacht, right? In December is the Christmas festival. So im December. Im Sommer ist es oft warm. In summer, it is often warm, right? So you have im Sommer. And then also im Jahr 2026 möchte ich viel reisen. I want to travel a lot in year 2026, right? But here you can also use im, right? So here you can see December, summer, and the year 2026, a longer period of time. So you can use im in such a scenario, right? When you don't have a specific like day or something, but a longer period of time, you're making uh, like a holiday or you're doing something, so you can use im. Now let's look at the other preposition ab, right? So ab is a preposition when you know a starting point, right? A time, at what time something will start. So I ab einem Zeitpunkt. You know already that okay, from this point something will start, so you can use ab preposition. For example, ab Montag arbeite ich wieder. From Monday I will work again. So this is a starting point, right? So if you remember, you had phone and bis. It was giving a range, but we had a starting point phon and then till bis. But when you only have a starting point, then you can use ab as a preposition, time preposition. So you have ab Montag arbeite ich wieder. Next example, ab 8 Uhr ist das Geschäft geöffnet. Like from 8 o'clock, the shop is open. So here also you can use ab, but doesn't matter, is day or time of the clock, doesn't matter, right? Now, ab Januar möchte ich mehr Sport machen. From January, I would like to do more sports, right? So it's a starting point. Like from here, you start to do something. So you can use ab, right? But if you had a exact date on that day something is happening, then we already know you can use Montag, right? And then if you have longer period of time, you could use in January. In January, you will do something. But if you have an activity with starting from some point and it will go, you don't know how long, so you can use a preposition, right? So now now let's look at the other one. So it's phone, right? So phone is also like ab, right? You can use it in the similar way, because in phone and bis, phone is talking about the starting point. So if you have a starting point again, so you can use phone also. For example, der Laden is von Montag geöffnet. The shop is open from Monday, so von Montag, right? Right, you can also use ab also, mm, but phone can also be replaced. More natural is using up. You will find up using in the case of starting point, and you will, if you see phone, then it will be mostly phone and bis together, like from till up till this point, right, as a time preposition. Now we can look at the last one, which is in a time preposition, and here it talks about time duration, but you don't know the starting point and the ending point, right? So in phone and bis, you knew when something will start and when it will finish, but here you don't know when something is start and finishing, but you know the duration of that thing, right? Then you can use in. For example, der Zug kommt in 10 Minuten, right? So you don't know when, till up till what time, but you know in 10 minutes it will come. So you say Der Zug kommt in 10 Minuten. So it's a duration, right? It's a time span where you can use in. For example, wir fahren in 2 Tagen nach Berlin. So we will drive to Berlin in 2 days. So in 2 Tagen. So we have duration of the time here. In einem Jahr möchte ich besser Deutsch sprechen. I want to speak good German in 1 year. So in einem Jahr. So 1 year is the duration. So I want to speak better German, and you can use in. Right. So these are all the time prepositions which you can use to define time in a sentence in German, and hope it is clear for you. And if you have any doubt, you can write in the comment section, and then I can respond to them. And if you understand all the preposition, you can make one sentence for each of them and write in the comment section. Till then, we meet in the next video.